Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Tuesday. We'll have good old Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. We'll have Mike Bianchi from the Orlando Sentinel. Mike also does his show, but he's off today because he was at the event last night at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, their 3-year anniversary, which got to give a shout out to Coach and his entire team, Freddie Weavy and everybody that put that thing on for the Ronald McDonald House. Tremendous crowd. Just had waves of people coming in and out with their reservations, and it was good to see. And we'll talk to Mike Bianchi about it. Good to see a bunch of the old sports writers. Which, buddy, I'm going to ask you. You're on the Titan No More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. How you doing, my man?
All right, doing good, Shane. Love the shirt. Can you get me one that says 12 on the bottom of my number?
We might be able to do that. Right. So I was talking about this last night, maybe on your show. I think it was on your show, and I'm going to talk about it with Mike a little bit. I think it's so cool that, Coach has this great restaurant. We all understand that, but I just don't know. And you've known a lot of coaches, regardless if they're football, basketball, whatever sport it is, the relationship that they have with the media guys. I mean, you had Chris Harris, Scott Carter, Seb Bianchi, Steve Russell, Edgar Thompson, Mark Long, Brockway, all these guys, they've been covering the Gators for a long, long time. And they just have a good relationship with Coach Spurrier. I just don't know if that happens in today's world anymore. What do you think?
Let me show you that it does not. Does not. As you know, I've been friends with Coach Spurrier ever since he played. And let me tell you some about these guys you just mentioned. Here's the thing about it. These are not your back-slapping, buddy kind of guys, good old boys going to just write great stuff about you. Every one of those guys was a journalist, and their job was to write what they perceived to be the truth. And sometimes it made Coach Spurrier mad.
Right.
When you're a journalist, you aren't there to be a cheerleader. You're there to write what you see and know and think. And despite all that, because of Steve's ability, in my opinion, to bring people in, and just like his team, he gets people excited. He gets people to buy in, both players and to some degree, as much as you can as an objective journalist. He gets the media. I mean, I remember going to his 50th birthday party, and he had like 10 media guys there. He'll tell you when you're wrong, just like he is a player. He will let you know if he doesn't like something. But he does appreciate the job that the media does, and he's so good in terms of providing copy and storylines. How could you not love the guy? How many notebooks and videotapes has he filled up in his lifetime? Unbelievable. Yeah, you love him for that. You love him because of his enthusiasm for the game, because he's a difference maker, and he did an incredible thing. If you don't like Steve Spurrier, you're a communist.
Yeah, Kanye Ron says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, Coach Napier does need to improve his media relations. I don't know if that's a coach. I mean, Coach Napier is as good a person as you're going to meet, but that's just the way of the world today. That's how these guys are just wired. They're going to do what they're supposed to, and that's it. What we'll all appreciate, I think we do appreciate it, but there's only one Coach Spurrier, and there will only ever be one. There's nobody ever going to be like him again. And I'm not talking about from the football standpoint. I'm just talking about the knowledge, the wisecracks, just the most honest human being you'll ever, ever meet.
Yeah. Who's that handsome guy in the back row, the tall guy back there in the back? Oh, that's Brendan Martin. How about that?
Yeah, I didn't get to see Brendan last night when I walked back there and had a little bit of food with the fellows back there. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great picture of all They got Nick's there. I forgot to, and then Graham Hall, the youngins. Graham, I think's the youngest one out of that whole crew.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And
But
by the way, I would have been there and had been to all the ones prior to that, and I was on my way. And unfortunately, some personal things got no. It's 300 miles. It's not easy to go there. So I'm sorry I
yeah,
couldn't make it. Looks like a great time, and I love that they do this. And thank you, Steve Spurrier and Freddie Weeby. There's Edgar right there for being there. Right, Edgar's always working, looking for a story. Mark Long, yeah, that's great. I love that too. I love that. I think
yeah.
I hear the coach. Well, I don't know if it's true. Coach Spurrier might at some point in time pick his Wall of Fame media guys that he
Oh,
might
really?
that who were his top 10 or 11, guys he's worked with or liked or whatever or appreciated. Because as you know, he can take a hit, even though you might not agree with him every now and then. But don't ever lie. And don't write stuff that is accurate and that's wrong, and it's wrong. That's the death sentence of Steve Spurrier.
Andy says, you bet one of the best nights of my year. Shane was great. JC was great. Talked to all the media guys. The HBC talked to us for about half an hour with Chris Harry. You need to go, Tony. I guess he was referring to something else. Yeah, so they do a great job. Okay, so
By the way,
Richard has
I want to say those steaks in there, are among the best I've eaten anywhere. And
well, that was a buffet, so you could have had everything you wanted there, buddy.
I mean, if I go there and buy, I mean, they have what do they have? They have the fillet. What's the other steak they have that's so good? Shoot, I'm drawing a blank on it. I loved it. I had it last time. Anyway, yeah, that was good. Love it. Glad it's a national treasure.
Yes, for sure. So Richard says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. So Shane, did you see the articles about Ben Sass giving millions of UF funds to his buddies? I did not.
Yeah, I
Buddy,
saw
do you
it.
know any? Okay, so can you fill us in on the
Yeah,
Cliff Notes version of that?
What I read, and this was broken by the Alligator, and people say, well, it's a newspaper, except everybody picked it up, including the AP. And I guess Sass has resigned. I guess he did it several weeks ago. I didn't know
Well,
about
he
it.
resigned, but he resigned because his wife had serious
No, no.
health problems.
Well, yeah, that could be the case. Maybe that's what it was. But I mean, the point is that supposedly, and I wish him the best on that, he gave large sums of money to members of the Republican Party to be consultants, large ones. I mean, 5 times more than they normally give away. So if the charge is true, and I'm not trying to stir up any trouble, this is what's been written. Go online and read it yourself. The AP, the Alligator. Congratulations to the Alligator, by the way, for coming up with that story. That if you look at it, large sums of money have been given to this guy, but by this guy, and it's obviously political and it's obviously explosive. So they're going back to their old president, and I guess we'll see how long it's an interim.
Yeah, I don't know enough about all that. I do know that he did resign. It could be part of this, but a lot of it had to do with his wife. Uh, Cedric says the HBC did not like the journalist in Columbia, South Carolina, for the state paper. There's two guys that I know that he just refused to ever talk to. Larry Guest was one.
Right.
I forgot what paper Larry Guest was. It the Orlando paper?
Sentinel. Orlando.
And then there was one guy up in South Carolina. I can't remember that guy's name.
Yeah, that's it. They're blacklisted. And by the way, I was assigned to duty one time by somebody important in Coach Spurrier's life to try to get Larry Guest together with Coach Spurrier to settle their differences when he was writing here. And I talked to Larry. He said, fine. I talked to Coach. He said, no way. So there you go.
No way at all. No way at all. Well, Florida Victorious joined today to help make Florida victorious. They're part of our program now. They're doing a tremendous job. But yeah, last night was outstanding. All right, buddy, let's move to football. We're getting closer and closer. Obviously, they had a scrimmage this past Saturday. Good things, bad things. Obviously, the devastating injury to Lions. Yeah, it was not good. You knew he was done for the year when he went down.
I didn't see it, but I heard about it afterwards, and you told me you saw it. So you said you had a cast on. And
well, no, they had. I mean, it's just when a guy goes down screaming, you know something's wrong.
Yeah. Can I just jump in here and say that you were on last night? I got a piece running by Dr. Pete and Delicato, the Gator bait on hamstrings. it's not a definitive piece. It's just an overall view of hamstrings. You know, you had them, right? Not very often.
I had one. Only time I ever pulled my hamstring. I didn't
Yeah.
want to interrupt your story, but I got to tell this story.
Right.
Was when I was with the Bears. I was playing against the Minnesota Vikings in the Metrodome, and I took off scrambling. Had about a 14-yard run
Whoa.
down the
Whoa.
sideline, and as I was stepping out of bounds,
Huh?
it literally felt like some dude from the top row of the Metrodome shot me in the back of my
Oh,
leg.
gosh. Oh,
That
my
is the
God.
only time I've ever pulled a muscle.
Really?
And before that, buddy, I was that guy, when your receivers would come out to practice or training camp and, they got a strained hamstring or they pulled
Yeah.
it a couple of days. I'm like, dude, it can't be that bad. Let's go. Well, that
Yeah.
changed my thought process
Yeah.
about that because when that thing snapped, the next day it was all black and blue. And
Mm.
I've tried to play the following week. I took a lot of medication. They tried to put this strap on me, but I couldn't move at all. So, but anyway, back to your story about hamstrings.
No, there's really nothing to say except he was on and talking about it. Nothing definitive. He brought up a couple of points and I had him on the show. Well, you were on with me for a while, and Coach and Pete Delicato. By the way, I got a great comment online saying, "Wow, having these three guys on is great." Well, last night the three of us. But the bottom line is that there's a blood involved. I didn't know there was blood in it. I thought it was just a ligaments, but there is some blood issues with that causes it. Did you know that? Yeah, it was blood.
I don't know what
Yeah.
causes it.
Well, read Gator Debate tonight, and you'll see what Dr. B has to say.
All right, good stuff. All right, buddy. Billy talked to the media, I think, yesterday. Do
Yeah.
you get anything out of his comments?
Well, there were a few things. Yeah, I did. And by the way, don't forget to watch the Graham Mertz interview on Feinbaum. Very powerful. I didn't say anything, but his positivity was just, you could feel it. He talked about, I wake up every day fueled because this team loves each other. I know it sounds like a cliche, and we'll see how much they love each other. They go 2-10 or something. But the bottom line is that I think he was sincere and it sounded sincere. And even Feinbaum was impressed. And the main thing he said was they're going to work on is not beating themselves, making mistakes, which you and I say, Yahoo. Napier said Florida missed 20 tackles in 122 snaps. Says the missed tackles are quote unquote very correctable. You know what's wrong with that statement? Ron Zook made it 20 times. People call him Captain Correctable. He kept talking about getting corrected, but he didn't get him correct. Can they get him correct? Well, as you point out, make a play, right? Make a play. The little things the team does is bonding is good. Now, some people say, oh, don't bring religion in this. Okay, whatever you want to say. They went to church together on Sunday. They did something together. It was obviously their own volition. They weren't told to. Whether you go to church or not, or synagogue, that's up to you, but they're doing things together like that. But Napier said of his offense, we moved the ball really well. We were very consistent. We scored a lot of points. I'm just saying we know the explosive plays are a significant part of winning. So we are a little short of our goal. And that's the area where we're trying to put emphasis this week. That's good to know, Shane.
Yeah, I don't get too caught up right now until we play real games about missed tackles. Sometimes missed tackles are due to the skill set of the offensive player that makes you miss tackles. You know
You
what I
think?
mean? Yeah. So
Think Barry Sanders had a few missed tackles?
quite a few, quite a few. Trey Wilson makes a lot of people miss tackles.
Good
Um,
point. Great point.
so nobody says anything when he makes somebody miss because he's on
Yeah,
your team.
that's
Uh,
right.
but it's all going to come. I mean, we can't really tell anything. And like I said, I was at the scrimmage for a majority of it. I thought there were some
What
good
did you
things because I
see?
thought
What did you see that really impressed you? Just give me one thing.
I don't know if anything ever's impressed me in a scrimmage because you don't. It's not like the ones against the ones. There's so many people mingled in on every play. I don't know how they decide to do that. I mean, they obviously have a rhyme or reason to it. I thought Graham was in complete control of everything he did.
Well, there you go.
Um,
That's
yeah,
what
I
you need.
mean, complete control.
Yeah.
Um,
Good thing.
I think KD Daniels is going to be a star.
Can he
to tell,
block
but
blitz? Can he handle a blitz? That's the
that I
question.
don't know. But I just know one thing: he makes a lot of dudes miss.
It's on the other
He
side.
makes a
They say
lot of
it's
dudes
about to
miss.
tackle. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I think defensively they're going to be I don't want to say bend, but don't break, which I'm perfectly fine with. Keep the ball in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Do not let them throw it over your head for big plays
Yeah,
because something eventually bad will happen. So um, I just think they're going to be better. They can't be any worse on defense. There's no way possible they can be worse than they were last year on defense. So I'm very optimistic still.
Shane, I know you're running out of time quickly. I want to get this in when you reveal. I'm just learning about this Coochgate. Have you heard about it?
Say it again.
Coocher, what he did at the tournament.
Yeah, I watched the whole damn golf tournament because I picked the winner.
Did you see what happened at the end?
Yes, I don't know why he did that because the tournament was over. He was in like 12th or 14th place. He was he was hitting his second shot, his approach shot on a par 4, and he said, "I'm not playing. I'm coming back tomorrow." And I don't understand that. I mean, think about it. The caddy had to pay for another hotel room. All these volunteers and the people for the PGA Tour couldn't leave that night. They had to come back. I don't understand why he did it. Did he ever come out and say why?
He did not. That's the other part. But here's what it was gleaned from. I have a couple of things that people who apparently know or in the know said. If you want to hear about them, it's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen on the golf course.
Yeah, I watched the whole golf tournament.
Yeah. So explain again what he did exactly, so people know what we're talking about.
Okay, so well, first of all, it was an unbelievable golf tournament because Grayerson had a 4-shot lead. He makes a quadruple bogey, so he's tied. The next hole, he eagles a par 4.
Unbelievable shot. Great
to take a 2-shot lead. Anyway, and then he goes in 4 putts, and the guy I picked to win the tournament, Aaron Rye, wins it. But Matt Coocher was in the last group.
Mm-hmm.
He hit his drive. It's getting dark. They played like 38 holes because of weather. And all he has to do is in 12th, or I think he might have been 12th or 14th place. I can't remember. Just finish and everybody can go home. But he didn't. And so he had to come back yesterday and play by himself on an approach shot. And I don't even know I don't even know. So Tony says Kuchar's post-round presser yesterday made it worse. So what did he say, buddy?
I didn't see that.
Oh.
Tell us, Tony. Here's what I heard. He was pissed at the players, the tour, and leadership officials for doing nothing about the slow play. He was angry, but he felt that Max's meltdown of a 4-stroke lead late in the round was connected to the pace of play and low light conditions. By 18, he was ready to blow up. The infuriated they let those guys play as slow as they did and make the last route finish in the crappy low light conditions. He teed off on a rye on 18 because he was pissed, not because he wanted to finish the hole. He wanted to go out and punish the tour and rules officials by making sure he didn't lose his 100K. So he marked and picked up his ball and walked off with like a big middle finger to the tour. He wanted to save some face publicly, so he gave little hints and indications of everything above, but tried to play it as a non-FU to the tour. Anyway, and he says, this guy says it backfired because the public joke, PR, average guy doesn't understand it. That's what I know.
Well, it's not like Matt Coocher. I can understand it was slow play, but when a guy makes an 8, hits a ball out of bounds, he's got to go back, hit another ball, and he's trying to win his first tournament ever. Sometimes these guys play way too slow. I agree.
Yeah.
But Matt, come on, dude. You have no chance. You're not even in the top 10. Just finish the tournament. Finish the tournament.
Yeah, and he's not playing well. He's maybe the
well, hell, he was in the lead on the last day.
Lost it, and one of the commentators says, made a comment. Wasn't Nance that it's not the same Matt Coocher we know. Obviously, something's wrong. He's not playing well, so something's wrong. When you play bad, I can understand why you'd be unhappy.
So Mark says he hit a bad drive on 18. He needed more time to figure out what to do. So he came back the next day and got a free drop, line of sight, hit it short of the green, and parred the hole. But my point of it is, it didn't matter if he made a par, if he made a triple, he's still going to get a check. I mean, obviously it cost him money.
To punish him for the slow play. That's what he did.
Okay, so Joe says if he makes par over bogey, it was $70,000 more and puts him securely in the top 125 to keep his tour status next year. I think he finished 113 on the year or something like that was my take. Well, okay. If they were calculating all that, I understand then. It's a different story. I thought he was secure with his card. Maybe he wasn't. So anyway, buddy, speaking of Matt Coocher, this has nothing to do with Matt Coocher. Well, it does. It's golf. This day in sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. 2017 PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. You know where Quail Hollow is, buddy?
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Yes, it was North Carolina, yes.
Justin Thomas from Alabama wins his first major by 2 shots over Francesca Molinari, Patrick Reed, and Louis Oosthuizen. That's This Day in Sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union.
Ocala's own Louis Oosthuizen.
Yep, he's a Golden Ocala guy.
Yeah.
Daniel says, isn't Coocher the guy that doesn't pay his caddy like every other
that happened
golfer?
one time. I don't know the story behind it. He stiffed his caddy in Mexico. But, dude, I don't know what the caddy did. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand all that. But if guess you don't do your job, it's like having someone come and ask, does giving you a crappy service and asking for a tip. I don't know. But I would say that if there wasn't a good reason, it was a bad thing to do. Did you hear the details on Cax's first home run?
Yeah, he hit it off a guy pitching like you, buddy.
Doesn't matter. The point is that what he did, this is where the legend starts.
He said he wasn't even counting it as a home run.
I know that. He still did it. And here's the bottom line. This is how legends are made. He hits in the Mississippi River. And the announcer said, there's a gator in the river.
Yeah, I saw that. If people aren't aware of it, Cags hit his first pro home run, and it was a grand slam. Mm-hmm. However, it was off a position player who was the pitcher. So Cags says he wasn't going to count it.
He ain't in charge of that. So it's 13.
Well, I don't think it really matters anyway, right? Once he goes to the bigs, they're not going to count. That didn't go on your career home run.
But it's his first home run. That's the whole point.
Yeah. And he didn't get the ball.
Why didn't he get it?
I bet that thing sank quickly in the bottom of the river. I don't think they have people out there in kayaks like they do at San Fran's ballpark.
Right, I know, but would you imagine if you did and you got that ball? It'd be great.
Okay, so Mark says on YouTube, brought to you by Quad Plum, by making par, Coocher moved up 10 spots to secure his card. Okay, I was not aware that he even had a chance to not get his keep his PGA Tour card. So he and his caddy were calculating all that stuff while they were having to wait on all these shots because it was slow. It was slow on TV. It was driving me nuts.
It was,
but it was a damn good golf tournament. So
who would have thought, right? And that used to be that would be a better feeling, except they were playing over in in France. And did you see the French golfer who was one of the guys that helped tee off the Olympics, made it, and came in and played his 15th or whatever? It's very good interview.
The USAM starts today, by the way. Tony, let us know. Gators have 3 players playing in that. I think we have Parker Bell, Ian Gilligan, and Dudley Hart's kid, Ryan Hart.
I'm so impressed how you keep up with golf so much you even know the names of the Gator players.
Well, buddy, I'm a Gator booster, and I play golf with the head coach probably once or twice a week.
I know
when he's in town and not working.
Yeah. Well,
he's in our golf group.
How's his game? He tells me that he's up and down. I know he's a
+4.
Really? That's all?
A +4?
No, I thought he was like a +8.
No. He doesn't get to play enough. He probably could be, but he's a +4.
Yeah, okay.
Chris asked on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. Well, I should say he's a +4 in our group. And it's all calculated by a certain computer system.
Right.
Shane, how do you feel Graham Mertz?
What would his handicap be? What would his handicap be? I mean,
+4 means on average you're going to shoot 4 under par.
Yes, that's correct. But that's not the game he's playing today, is it?
Well, he only gets to play probably 2 or 3 times a month.
I don't know. I'm trying to get a gauge on. I know he's not the player.
He won the Florida Open twice, which is damn good.
Right.
So he's an excellent player.
But when
Uh,
did he win the Florida Open?
what?
When did he win the Florida Open?
And like he's won it twice in like the last 5 years.
Okay. I played a lot of golf with Steve. I'm, of course, a hack.
Steve, I'm talking about
I'm talking about
JC
Spurrier.
Deacon.
I'm talking about Spurrier. I mean, I'd be a +4.
Oh, he does not hardly even play golf anymore. I thought you were talking about JC Deacon.
Oh, I'm talking about Spurrier playing.
Coach Spurrier has never been a +4 in his
I'm trying to
lifetime.
say I never do that. If he was a +4.
No, I thought you were talking about JC Deacon.
No, I was talking to you about Steve. You played golf with him. Right?
No, I haven't played golf with Coach in probably
Well,
10 years.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Delicado does. All right.
Right. They play a different type of game than I play.
I know. I was going to say,
I was referring to JC Deacon, the golf coach.
Well, we miscommunicated. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. So Chris's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel Law. Shane, how do you feel Graham Mertz would have been under Steve Spurrier? I think he would have been phenomenal. He's extremely accurate. He knows where to go with the football. The route concepts that we ran back in the day, I just think he would tear it up. But he's not in that system. He came along way too late.
What's the best thing Graham Mertz does?
I think he's accurate and knows where to go with the football. He's got a lot of qualities that good quarterbacks have to have.
Yeah, I want to say one thing. I didn't see it like you did, but I want to say that there's some video I saw Lagway throwing some dimes, man. They were great throws. I mean, I saw them with my own eyes on video. A couple of them.
He made some really good throws, and he made
mistakes. Boy, his throws.
And then you go, "Woo! Why was he doing that?" But he's a freshman, and they're going to have to convince me that they're going to play him a lot. I don't see it.
I don't think they said a lot. I think they're going to have packages available for him to come in the game. He may not play every week, but he's going to get some playing time, and I think he should.
We'll see. Richard says, before we get you out here, buddy, he says, Shane, I hear a bunch of podcasts freaking out about the right side of the offensive line. Seems like a bunch of position movements trying to get it right. Richard, I appreciate the question. I don't know. I don't know how these people even know or freaking out. Look, Damian George, I think, is playing right guard now. I don't even know the right tackle. I don't know a whole lot about the offensive line. And you don't find anything about the offensive line until you play.
Austin Barber.
Barber's the left tackle.
Yeah. I'm just asking who else is on the offensive line. I'm trying to think of it here. Let's see. I can't even name them. But I have to have video. I mean, who's got that kind of video that can break down?
I don't know. Don't worry about it till you watch them play in a game.
I'm with you because it's how you play as a group.
Yeah.
Not just because this guy's good at it. Can you play as a group? I often talk about this like a basketball team. Those five got to play like a basketball team.
Tony makes a good point.
Where you going to be, huh?
Tony makes a good point. He says they aren't going to put bad throws or misses on highlight videos.
I don't care about that. I know the plays I saw that stuck out to me. I saw a couple of dimes he threw, and I went, wow. If he's capable of that kind of throwing, I know it's not consistency. I've said to you before, I really like this guy. I think he's going to be a star unless he gets hurt. I saw a little flash of what I saw. That's all.
Yeah. Kanye Ron on YouTube brought to you by Quad says, what does Coach JC shoot? He shoots when he plays with us anywhere from 65 to 68.
Yeah.
Sometimes lower.
Shane, you're in that high money group, you high rollers.
That's not true. We have 18 handicaps that play in our group, but that's why handicaps are
that was
mine. And the computer system is set to make it a fair game.
Yeah, I was at 18. So
yeah. But the lower it goes, the more shots you got to give, and you got to golf your ball. So
well, I'll take a shot a hole and a scramble if I can get it right.
Yeah, I don't do scrambles. All right, so Barone says
that's an elitist and snob in golf.
No, it's I have too much competitive juices in me, and I like to play my own ball, and I like to be playing for something against my competitors.
It's also some friends on your friendly game of golf. It's not like
we don't play a friendly game of golf.
I know you don't, Shane. You got to change your lifestyle. Realize it's not about just you. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it is about me because my friends are the same way. Tony wants to know, do we use the GIN system? We do, but Will McClave, who played golf at Florida, his company Infotech, which is this computer, they just sold their company. I don't know enough about it, but it's a computer system they've had for 30 something years that is as JC Deacon says, it's the fairest and best computer system for golf groups there is. So he probably needs to sell it. All right. Last thing, Mark wants to know, Shane, would you be able to have Mertz and some other players on my show? I could. I had Trent Whittemore back when he played doing his internship, but I don't like to get the players on. They have enough. I just know from a player standpoint, they have so much going on. I don't even want to ask them. Sometimes I don't even like to ask certain people to come on my show because I know they're busy. It's they got a lot to deal with right now. I don't care to have them on my show.
Well, I do, and I hope to have a few if I got the guy.
Well, I hope you get them on there, buddy. I'd rather you get them on than me.
Well, I mean, I had like 18 players 2 years ago on there with some choice. Anyway, but I mean, look, that's nothing I can say. I'd love to have them on. I've talked to the people. We'll see. Got a new SID. We'll see how that works out. I don't need to have them every week, but I wouldn't mind having 2 or 3 guys on,
Yep. All right, buddy. Good job, my friend. We got to get to Mike Bianchi. Have a good day.
Thanks.
That's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. Quick timeout. We'll get Mike Bianchi from the Orlando Sentinel. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills.
Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, Titan MRI, Meldon Law, Peachland Dental, QC Kinetics, Campus USA Credit Union, Dave & Buster's. Gridiron sponsors, Comfort Temp, UF Bookstores, Quality Plumbing, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, F45. Our touchdown sponsors, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Aikido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, MG&A Wealth, Nest and Wild.
If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Rose Ogra State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ograinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Back to the Titan MR hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. And it's the all-state football player from Interlochen High School who hosts the open mic radio show in Orlando, works for the Orlando Sentinel. He does it all in Orlando. Mike Bianchi. How you doing, my man?
Shane Matthews, it's a pleasure to be on with the greatest number 9 quarterback other than the great Sonny Jurgens.
Let's don't go there. Hey, Mike, appreciate you coming on. It was good seeing you last night at Coach Spurrier's, our 3rd-year anniversary. Before we get into Gator football, UCF, other things, just talk about how cool it is to have a relationship like that you have as a media member with Coach Spurrier. I just think it's so unique, the relationship you guys have with him.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, Steve Spurrier to this day back when he was coaching, you had a relationship with him. You could call him on the phone in his office. If you had a question on a story or something, he would certainly call you on the phone if he didn't agree with something you wrote, but it was a give and take relationship. I miss those days. I mean, you don't have relationships with coaches now. We can't call Billy Napier on the phone. We can't call Mike Norvell on the phone. So yeah, I mean, the days of Steve Spurrier and Bobby Bowden, when you had their home numbers and you could call them anytime you want, and they were accessible to the media. They respected the media, and they, as relationships grow, you become friends with these guys. So yeah, it's awesome to be able to come to Spurrier's last night and just see all the old guys, fraternize with Coach Spurrier. Obviously, he had that. What was that leather helmet he had last night that everybody was taking pictures with? Huh?
He found it in one of his closets, I think, but he made all these women put it on to take pictures.
I've got a picture with me. I've got the leather helmet on too. So.
Okay. All right, good. Hey, Mike, we got a text here on the Titan MR text line from Jimmy. He says, Mike, what are your thoughts, and do you think the Jags will play in Orlando or Gainesville?
Well, it all depends. I mean, the Jaguars, obviously, their stadium is going to be renovated, and in 2027, they're going to be playing in either Gainesville or Jacksonville. The thing is, Camping World Stadium down in Orlando, it's being renovated as well. Now, they're saying that Camping World Stadium renovations will be done by 2027, but we don't know that for a fact. I think the Jaguars would, just for convenient purposes, obviously Gainesville's closer, but the Swamp has another tenant called the Gators that have priority there. It would be a quick turnaround if you have if you're playing Tennessee on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday night, and then you have to play Jaguars are going to play there on Sunday. I don't know. I think they would prefer playing in Orlando just for convenience because they would have the stadium to themselves. They could, show up early in the week, practice there if they wanted to. I think they're going to play in Orlando. And plus, Orlando is a huge market, biggest market in the country without an NFL team. I think they would like to cultivate that market a little bit. So I'm going to say Orlando, but I think either option's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards Orlando too, because just from a logistics standpoint, it's less stuff that has to be done to get ready for games.
Right.
But I guess from a monetary standpoint, it could help out the University of Florida. I don't really know. All right, Mike, the Gators are a couple of weeks away here hosting the Miami Hurricanes. You'll be in the press box for this game. Just your thoughts on, Billy Napier in year 3. There's not a whole lot of great expectations around the country with this so-called hard schedule. But I can't get over the love that the national media is giving the Miami Hurricanes. Maybe I'm wrong. Just your two thoughts on this game.
Well, if the Miami Hurricanes were in the SEC playing the schedule that the Gators are playing, I don't think they would be getting much love either. I mean, let's face it, Miami's in the ACC. We all know that the ACC's not even close to being as strong as the SEC. When you look at the ACC this year, I mean, Florida State is a program in transition, even though they had a great year last year. They lose, essentially every one of their playmakers. So we don't know how good Florida State's going to be this year, even though they're ranked in the preseason top 10. We don't know, we don't know how good Clemson's going to be because Dabo obviously has shied away from the transfer portal. When you're talking about how maybe NC State could be a surprise team in the ACC, I think that's why Miami's getting so much love because, of the conference they're in. As for the Gators, I mean, good Lord, the schedule they play is tough. I just hope Billy Napier and that program shows some progress this year. I'm not even saying they have to, win 9 games or 8 games. If they can win 7 games and show some progress and they're playing good and they're playing hard and they're playing close games and they're not losing to Arkansas at home, I think if Billy Napier could win 6 or 7 games, I think that'd be great. But just show some progress this year.
Live a healthier lifestyle with our bold, flavorful smoothies, our amazing food, tropical smoothie. When you eat better, you feel better. We got Mike Bianchi from the Orlando Sentinel here as he's driving back to Orlando after last night's event. Got a couple of questions on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Barone71 says, does Mike know if Tennessee AD Danny White has been contacting UCF to book home and home non-conference games? He seemed to love demanding them at UCF when he was the AD, and now he can make it happen. I think the biggest difference is that now UCF is in a actual big boy conference. They may not want those out of conference Power 5 schools coming in.
Yeah, I mean UCF, like everybody else now, they're trying to. Obviously, they want to play more. They want to play more home games against the Humpty Dumpty opponents because let's face it. I'm sorry, I'm merging here in traffic as we're talking here. But yeah, you're right. UCF plays in the Big 12 now. Obviously, the Big 12 is a 16-team league now. You've got 4 new teams coming into the Big 12 this year. So yeah, UCF's not as gung-ho as they were in the past when they were a group of 5 team trying to get the big boys to play them. They were trying to earn respect back then. They sort of have some respect now that they're in the Big 12. The Big 12 is not the SEC. That's, it's either the 3rd or 4th best conference in the country. So, yeah, Danny White did talk a big game, though, back then when he was the AD at UCF. And I still think Danny White's self-proclamation of UCF winning the national title in 2017, I think that as much as, the SEC – the Paul Feinbaums of the world and everybody else hated that and they were making fun of UCF. It sort of put UCF on the map, and I think that's one of the reasons UCF got picked to be in the Big 12 because they were on the map. Danny White's proclamation sort of put them on the map.
Yeah. Facebook Live brought to you by Meldon Law. Andy asked, Mike, it was great to meet and chat with you last night. What kind of shot does Georgia Tech have to knock off the semis in Ireland?
I'll tell you what. Of a coach, and I think he's incrementally built that program up, gotten better each and every year. Gator fans should take notice about Florida State was pretty patient with Mike Norvell, even though his first couple of years, he had losing records as well. So, but I'm not yet sold on Florida State this year. In fact, I said on my show the other day, I think Georgia Tech could give them a game over in Ireland. It's a week 0 game, which means it's going to be new. Nobody's going to have their systems in completely. FSU's trying to break in a new quarterback in DJ Uiagalelei, who let's face it, he's talented but erratic. And Georgia Tech wasn't terrible last year. They hammered UCF in a bowl game at the end of the year. I think Georgia Tech I'm not saying Georgia Tech's going to win the game, but I think they could. I don't think Florida State's going to blow out Georgia Tech in that game.
I agree 100% with you on that. The Fox Den on YouTube brought to you by Claude Plum said, did Lagway go 21 for 21 in the last scrimmage? No. Wherever you got that information, it ain't even close. Mike, let's talk about UCF. Obviously, you cover them a lot down there. They will be coming to the Swamp.
Shane, I do have an opinion on DJ Lagway.
All right, give me your opinion on him.
My opinion is I think DJ Lagway could save Billy Napier's job simply because they're going to have a package for him. If DJ Lagway looks good this year, even if the Gators don't have a great record, if DJ Lagway looks good and there's hope for the future with DJ Lagway, I think that could save Billy Napier's job because let's face it, you know how college football players are today. If the coach gets fired, what's DJ Lagway probably going to do? Transfer, right?
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. You can book that.
Yeah. So in that respect, I think if DJ Lagway looks good this year in his whatever his role is, I think the Gator administration will and should keep Billy Napier.
Yeah, I think he will. All right, back to UCF. They have to come to the Swamp. Obviously, UCF is no longer in the group of five. So we got a Big 12 opponent rolling into town. But I know it's several weeks away, but what is the vibe around the UCF campus and all in Orlando about the Knights rolling into the Swamp?
Well, obviously it's UCF. They've had a persecution complex for a long time. We talk about how Danny White was trying to shame the Gators and FSU and Miami into playing them back when UCF was a group of five team. Now they have a chance to play Florida. They played them in the Gasparilla Bowl a couple of years ago and beat them, and that was a big win for UCF, even though the Gators weren't, it was the Gasparilla Bowl. There were a lot of opt-outs in that game, obviously. So it's huge for UCF. They want to be considered one of the big boys in the state of Florida. And when you look at their conference, they are, they are one of the Power Four teams in the state. But if they could come up to the Swamp and beat the Gators, that would be such a big, a big flag in their cap. So, it's a huge game for UCF, and it's also a huge game for Billy Napier. We talk about his job security. You don't want to lose to UCF in the Swamp. So, it's a big game for UCF. And UCF's coming off a year that Gus Malzahn, the coach, is not happy with. Gus Malzahn's never had a losing season in his entire career as a head coach, whether it be a high school coach when he was in Arkansas or a head coach. And last year they had a losing record. They lost the bowl game to finish 6-7. Gus Malzahn has said, hey, I'm not happy about what happened last year. I've done a lot of self-evaluation. He's changed coordinators, offensive and defensive coordinators. So UCF is really looking to take a big step this year in the second year in the Big 12.
Text on the Titan MR text line from Jimmy in Memphis. He says, Mike, I grew up in Orlando, went to UCF, love the Magic. Will there ever be another professional team in the next few years roll into Orlando?
Well, they have the MLS team. If you consider MLS Major League, it's the best soccer league in the United States. But if you're talking baseball or football, no. Pat Williams, may he rest in peace, the founder of the Magic, who just died a few weeks ago. Pat Williams was trying to get the community interested in, pursuing a Major League Baseball team. That's not going to happen. It would take, you'd have to have a owner and a group of investors to go after a team. You'd have to get it approved. You'd have to build a stadium. I don't see that happening anytime soon, quite frankly.
Yeah, we got one more question here, then we'll get you out of here in just a second, Mike. I'm pulling it up. It went away on Facebook, but it's from Asa, brought to you by Meldon Law. He says, Mike, what does UCF do to make the bounce house more attractive and bigger for Big 12 crowds and SEC crowds? When we played in Orlando, it's very crowded and very small.
It is. It only seats 40. I think it seats 45,000 capacity. They built it on the cheap years ago because they wanted to have an on-campus stadium so they could make money in their stadium. And in that respect, it's been a boon for UCF. They pack the place. They make the money on attendance concessions, which is more than you can say for the University of Miami, USF, some of these other schools that don't have their own stadium. So the on-campus stadium has been a boon for UCF. UCF just got a $90 million investment from the tourist development tax in Orlando. So they're going to make a lot of improvements in that stadium, but it's never going to be, it's never going to be a 75 or 80,000 seat stadium. It's, I think stadiums, whether it be the Swamp, whether it be Doak Campbell Stadium, which is undergoing renovations right now, I don't think you're going to have these 80, 90, 100,000 seat stadiums anymore. I think stadiums are getting smaller because more and more fans are staying home watching games on TV. And so they're adding more luxury suites and adding more premium seating and taking away sort of the general admission seats. I think you're going to see that with the Swamp as well. I don't think the Swamp's going to be seating as many when they undergo their renovations as well. You probably heard that, Shane.
Yeah. All right. Last thing for you, Mark, on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Does Malzahn run the offense, or does he have an OC? I'm pretty sure he runs the offense. But then we had a couple other people's questions. Are the people at UCF concerned that there's a possibility Gus Malzahn, if Arkansas goes south under Sam Pittman, that he may leave and go to Arkansas?
Well, that, if I actually wrote this in my column the other day. By the way, Gus Malzahn is running the offense again this year. He turned over play calling duties last year, did not like how it went. Now he's returning the play calling. Yeah, there's a huge, if Gus Malzahn were to win 9 or 10 games this year at UCF, and Arkansas fires Sam Pittman, I think there's a possibility. Gus Malzahn is he was a legendary high school coach in Arkansas. He was a former offensive coordinator at Arkansas. So yeah, he's a big name in Arkansas, and I think Arkansas would probably pursue him. It's not like Gus is, he's not over the hill. I think he just turned 60 years old. So, he still has some coaching years left in him. So yeah, I think Arkansas would make a run at him. But if I'm Gus Malzahn, I think I have a lot better chance of winning at UCF in the Big 12 than I do at Arkansas in the SEC. Just my opinion, Shane. What do you think?
Oh no, I agree 1,000% with that. Yeah, now that they're in a big boy conference, stay there and get in. You have a better chance in the Big 12 getting into the playoffs than you would at Arkansas getting into the playoffs. All right, Mike, good stuff as always. Let everybody know if they want to listen to you in the morning. You're up bright and early doing a show down in Orlando, and how they can read all your good stuff, follow you on Twitter.
That's right. You can find me, get on the iHeartRadio app or any app. Just look for 96.9 The Game. We're on from 6 to 9:30 in the morning. You can listen to our podcast as well. Also, we're trying to get on RUF in the morning. Take that national show off of RUF. Get us on RUF in the morning so the Gainesville listeners. We're on in Orlando, Jacksonville, Tallahassee. We think it'd be great to be out in Orlando, Shane. Or in Gainesville, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. All right, Mikey, good seeing you last night, buddy. We'll see you August 31st in the Swamp.
See you, my brother. Good talking to you.
Yep, that's Mike Bianchi. Join us on the Titan No More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Comfort Temp Heating and Air is looking for an enthusiastic, motivated comfort specialist to join our team. $1,000 sign-on bonus after 90 days, awesome benefits, and the opportunity to grow with a winning team. Apply today at comforttemp.com. Comfort Temp Heating and Air. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. I want to thank Buddy and Mike Bianchi for joining us. Mike's hilarious, man. I don't know if people know much about Mike, but listen to his show. He's pretty funny. I don't listen to it, but I just know he's a funny guy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's program. Mike asked, Shane, that's a great picture of Bianchi. Where'd you find it? I'd have to ask my producer where he found that. I don't have anything to do with the picture. So anyway, it's on his profile, probably on his Twitter or what have you, is what our producer says. All right, folks, appreciate you joining in. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.